Hello YouTube, hope you're having a good day today. Making a video about my second system. As you know, my primary system is Sopra number 3s with Lux-man gear and a dedicated room, which is also a hybrid system for home theater and 2-channel listening. This is our Kanta number 2s in our family room. I bought these about 4 years ago when my son was 3, I want to say. He's 7 now. I bought these from Precision Audio Video in Chicago as well. So just to kind of give you a little quick pan about these in our room, this is an open concept home. So this is a family room that's open to a breakfast area and our kitchen. So these are really nice when we're entertaining or cooking or doing whatever. We also watch some movies on these every now and then. These are connected to a Hagel H160 integrated. The 190 was out when I bought these, but I consulted Thomas from Thomas and Stereo, and he liked the 160s sound better than the newer Hagel, so just went with that. The H160 is connected to a Pecan Pie streamer, which is using Volumium. And then I have a Blu-ray slot drive connected to the Pecan Pie streamer, and then the streamer is hooked up to the Hagel via XLRs. So it works out pretty well. Also have a cheap Sony Blu-ray player. My son has his own collection of movies and CDs as well. Right now he's a little hi-fi guy. He likes Michael Jackson. He also likes 80s music and contemporary music. So, and then some of his Disney soundtracks. So we both enjoy the convenience of streaming and having physical media too. He has a Roku streaming box, which has his little apps on it. And then he also has a PS5, which we got him after we had the Blu-ray player. He got that, I think he got the PS5 about 2 years ago. Yeah. So that's all good and fun. The Kanta number 2s, they're great speakers. I think they benefit from having the 675 subwoofer with them, or any subwoofer for that matter. They are a ported speaker, so there's one port underneath the bottom woofer, and then there's a second port in back behind the second woofer. When I was considering buying these, I had KEF LS50 wireless 2s, but those were on speaker stands, and we quickly found out, as you know, our son was running around and being a boy as he should, that it wasn't just going to work out. Even though it was convenient having an app and everything and not having a bunch of gear, we still wanted to keep it simple. So we went with the floor standing. So these, I think, retail for about $10K. And I was looking at the Magico A3s, which I did like. The only thing I didn't like was that their beryllium tweeter wasn't protected. So this Focal's beryllium tweeters usually have this grill here that's non-removable, which is a good thing, especially if you have kids. Beryllium on its own is a safe product, but if it becomes disturbed, broken, scratched, or basically tampered with, it's a hazmat situation. It's a very high carcinogen as well. So definitely like that Focal protects their tweeters against, you know, just normal everyday stuff. So yeah, I do like Magico. Those are great speakers. The only thing was that with Magico, they are very sensitive to electronics. So if you're considering Magico, also make sure you have good electronics, because they will show you where the weaknesses are in your system. To me, I think I've listened to the M3s as well. Those are excellent speakers, but again, they're also, in my opinion, they're a little bit more analytical. But again, you have to have great gear and um, interconnects for those to really shine. So I went with these because not only the safety factor, but the form factor. My wife liked them. They're black. They're sleek. They're not huge. Um, so yeah, as far as these, how they compare to the Sopra number threes, big difference. These are fun speakers. They're great. They are up on that V curve. I would describe these as sparkling, as where the focals twinkle. The focals are Sopra number threes are very more detailed, but also refined. And I'll get to that in a second. So with the Sopras, you can hear the kind of like the registers of the voice. Not only from the high or the low, but you also everything in between. Same thing with drums. On these, you don't hear the slam as you would on the Sopras. Um, these also the Sopras also with complex music or a lot of instruments, they don't start to get compressed or fall apart. With these, you're hearing more of the highlights of the performance, like the highs. Uh, you're not getting that middle part that really adds to the tonality of the instruments and the tonality of the piano and the sustain of a guitar, like an electric guitar. So if you're listening to like Sweet Child of Mine, you're on the Sopras, you're actually not only hearing Steven Adler's drum and the tonality of it, but you're also hearing the Duff McKagan's bass and every note that he's playing, along with the Steven Adler's drum, along with Axl's voice, and then Slash's guitars right in front of you, and you're hearing the sustain of that guitar. If you ever mess around or play it with an electric guitar, you strike those chords, you're hearing there's a lot more that you're getting with a performance. It's not just like you're hearing the highs and the fast playing, but you're actually hearing the resonance of those strings and the guitar itself. And with acoustic instruments or bass, you like an acoustic bass or jazz, you can really hear the tonality of those instruments. Now, I have thought about hooking up the 509Z to these, but honestly, it's such a pain for me to bring something like that down here. And honestly, I don't even think this shelf could hold that weight. I think the 509Z is about 70 pounds or so. I don't know, but it's pretty heavy. This Hagel is probably, I don't know, 35 pounds roughly. So, so I've never done that. And then, when you get to that 30K mark, you're also getting a lot, for your money. Um, so, people talk about the point of diminishing returns. I think 30K is a good sweet spot, honestly. A more expensive speaker is not going to sound compressed. It's going to definitely be able to handle different types of music, like chamber music or orchestras or opera, where you're not going to have that breakup or degradation of sound or compression of sound. You're definitely going to hear the full spectrum of those type of instruments. But then you're also going to have to really have some really nice gear to be able to deliver on that and to be able to power those speakers appropriately. So, there's trade-offs with everything, but I think 30K is a great place to start. But I think people think that just because you buy a expensive speaker that you're kind of done. That's not true. The better gear you have with it, it's definitely going to be able to perform and give you what that speaker can do. And with the Sopras, I've had them since my son was one and a half, and throughout my evolution with those, I started off with the Burmester preamp. I had some Bel Canto stuff. I had all kinds of stuff with them, and they never sounded as good as they do with Lux-man gear. And I could try other high-end gear too, but there's just, as you go up the tiers, you definitely can get an appreciation of what that speaker can do. Not that it didn't sound great with the other gear. It was just a different type of characteristic, I guess, or sound profile. And, these things are just so, subjective. So it's all personal taste. But it also is important to have a good dealer, because when I met my dealer, he had what he had, but he also knew what kind of music I liked, and he was able to kind of guide me. Initially I didn't like Lux-man. I thought they looked old, but I fell in love with the sound. So, and I've heard Macintosh too. Those are very nice. I was a B&W guy before, and I was looking at I think the 802 D3s, but those were a little bit too sharp for me, and I went with the Sopras. I did hear the Sopras and the B&W side by side. A and B tested them, and just found that the Sopras sounded better for my ear. Macintosh was good for the 802, for anything with a diamond. It's kind of smoothed that out. It's a warmer sound. So, but yeah, I mean, with electronics and speakers, you can find a speaker that you like and kind of find the sound profile you want with good electronics. But it is a kind of a tedious process. And once you hear something that you like, you're gonna, even though you might not be able to articulate it, once you hear it again, you're gonna know what you want. So don't be afraid to, go back and listen to stuff over and over again, or to take notes. But your brain is gonna know when you find something you like, So, and it's not always down to the cost. Most of the time, unfortunately, it is, but not always. So yeah, that's pretty much our system. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I might put a video up of these playing Sweet Child of Mine, since I already have a video of the Sopras doing that. So you'll kind of get an understanding of what they sound like. This room is a lot more open and bigger than what the Sopras is. The Sopras area has like a vaulted ceiling, but it also has, it's not an open concept room. So it's also treated better than what this is. This is just what it is. So just keep that in mind. But I think it'll come across. And then, yeah, so that's it. And I don't know if I talked about the TV. That's a Pioneer Elite Plasma from the Kuro age. The only thing I don't like about it, even though it performs really well, is that it uses 330 watts of power. And that's a lot. And my son watches this thing all the time. So it's fun though. But I wouldn't get rid of it until it burns out. It's a great TV. It doesn't get hot. This is a pretty big room, so climate in here is pretty well. But yeah, 330 watts. I could get warm if you're in a smaller room. But all right, guys, happy Super Bowl Sunday. Hope your favorite team wins, and God bless. Take it easy. Bye.